All right, welcome everybody to the first episode of the Basement Ballers podcast. My name is Kareem,
My name's Ibrahim.
and this is the first episode of our very own soccer podcast. And yeah, we both are pretty big soccer fans. He's kind of on the level of insanity.
I'm a bit insane, man. I can't lie.
Yeah, but we felt like basically a lot of our conversations revolved around football, revolved around sports in general. We said, okay, why don't we just try out a podcast for a little while and see how that goes? Maybe you guys can engage with us and share with us your opinions.
We're gonna have a grand old time, guys. Grand old time.
Very
We gotta make this
nice
shit litty.
time. Very nice time. So first, we're gonna start off with a little bit of introduction. So again, my name is Kareem, and we are both Lebanese. We're cousins, actually. And I probably started watching soccer around 2006 World Cup. That was my first ever like viewing experience of soccer, but I wasn't super consistent on it. I watched soccer. I was kind of cheering for Italy at the time, but I was still a kid, right? It wasn't until like a couple years ago where I really started getting back into it and saying, okay, you know what? Honestly, like this sport is just a lot of fun to keep up with. The fans, the culture is just really amazing to experience. So I felt like, okay, I want to start watching soccer a lot more.
Yeah, for me, it's I've been playing soccer my whole life essentially, and I started watching because my dad would show me Messi clips when I was like 4 or 5 years old, so like 2007, 8, whatever. So yeah, I've been a Barca fan because it does. You guys can see the little tifo I got back here. And yeah, soccer affects me more than it affects Kareem, I'd say. I actually get I cry, get mad, destroy like shit when I'm mad. So like it affects me a lot. It affects me a lot. I love this game.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of like what a lot of people experience around the world is that like soccer is a sport that induces the most emotion, and I think that's what's so great about it. But yeah, who knows? Maybe over time I'll start being a little bit more emotional. I don't think so because this guy's kind of an insane person.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that actually very soon.
Very soon. That's the second segment of our podcast today. We're going to be talking about the Classico. But yeah, so I cheer for Liverpool, as you can see, LFC Nike shirt. I cheer for Liverpool mainly because of Mohamed Salah. He's one of my favorite players. So that's kind of, I feel like that's how a lot of us get into the teams that we like. We pick a player and then we start watching, right? So that was kind of what it was like for me. I just really enjoyed watching him play. And then slowly I started cheering for Liverpool. But if I was going to talk about my favorite players, I think number one is Neymar. Neymar has been my favorite since 2014. Like I just always loved the way he played. So I followed Neymar a lot. And then CR7. Ronaldo, and then yeah, because Ronaldo's just like a family. I think he's a family favorite. That's probably why I cheer for Ronaldo.
Yeah, it's definitely a family favorite. I'm the op in the family. I'm the only, Messi fan. Everyone's a Real fans, love Ronaldo. I'm a favorite player to go what he was saying. Me, it's Messi, always been Messi. I have a lot of favorite players. I like Mahrez. I like Mbappe a lot. I respect Ronaldo, obviously. I can't stand his fans, I can't lie. Like Messi winning the World Cup was amazing for me. Like me, it's a huge thing.
Yeah, maybe you guys will be treated to a couple of clips of Brahim watching Messi win the World Cup later.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy thing. But yeah, I respect all types of fans. Me, it's as mentioned earlier, Barcelona is number one. Will always be number one. Even though Messi left, even though we've been bantered terrible for like 6 years probably since the last time won the Champions League. Just Roma, Liverpool, Bayern. Yeah. Barca's always been everything to me. And then after that, I have my English team. That's my second team. It's Arsenal. I started watching Arsenal. Funnily enough, I started watching them in 2016 when they weren't good. So I don't know why I actually chose them instead of like Chelsea or Man City. Don't ask me why. But I'm reaping the benefits for it now, man. Top of the league. 8 points clear. You know how it is. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So those are just a couple of simple introductions for us as soccer fans. And we just wanted to kick right off into like the main topics for today. And we're going to start off with talking about the Classico, which we just finished watching literally. And then we're coming here to film. So the ideas are still fresh in our mind and we're ready to talk about it. So Brahim, because you're such a huge Barcelona fan, hit us with the facts.
Yeah, man, I can't lie. This game, playing Madrid in the Camp Nou always is stressful. I don't know why. It's like when we play them at the Bernabeu, I never get stressed. It's just like whenever we play them at the Camp Nou, it's something. Like today, we were 9 points clear heading into this game. The issues we had injuries though. The one thing I'll say is that when we miss Pedri, man, we don't like one. It's kind of like Messi. You know how we used to be Messi dependent was the term. We're Pedri dependent now. If Pedri doesn't play, we're not that good. we don't really tend to control anything. We're not like we've been scraping a lot of 1-0s recently. So like that's the thing. Now going into this game, I had hopes because I can't take Madrid seriously. I swear, my issue is that the rest of the world fears them so badly for I don't know what reason. Like the point is we had a lot riding on this game, the league title, which we haven't won since 2019, I believe. That was the last league title we had. So yeah, winning that last minute, Kessié, I was so mad when we signed him at the beginning of the season as well. Like he reminded me of when we signed Vidal and Paulinho. It's like, yeah, they're good players, but like, are they Barca players? That's my thing.
I remember when Xavi subs Kessié on, Ibrahim was just like, well, not this guy again.
It's because Kessié is good. Don't get me wrong. Is just that like, I don't know, man. It's like, but we don't have many options because Xavi, for some reason, it's like when Koeman would never play Ricky Puig, however you say his name. He's not playing Paulo Torre. Yeah, he's young, but like Gavi's younger than Paulo Torre. Like I don't know, man. There's a thing like when he needs to get more minutes. Nico Gonzalez is on loan. I can't wait to get him back. But the thing is with our midfield is when Pedri's out, well, Busquets. Don't get me started on Busquets. We don't have an option. We have to bring on Kessié. Now he's doing his thing recently. He scored the winning goal. Now he did score. Well, it was an own goal by Militao, I believe. Like he pretty much made the goal when we beat them in the Copa del Rey 2 weeks ago. So. He's doing the thing. Like I have a love-hate relationship with him. He does his thing. It's just like there's just something I can never be like fixated on with him. I don't know. Like I told you, he's like a Paulinho. Like I'm sure in like 2-3 years time, I'm gonna look back on him and be like, I miss Kessié, or like when we had Kessié, because Paulinho was the same thing. I was pissed when we signed him, but then like now I look back on it and I was like, man, Paulinho was actually nice. He was alright.
I don't know. That's fair enough. I mean, I think for whatever reason, Real Madrid is just having a hard time in La Liga this season. Or either that or the competition that they're facing in the Champions League is just not up to par. Now, obviously, as a Liverpool fan, it hurts me to say this, but Liverpool played like absolute dog shit against Real Madrid in the Champions League. So, like, maybe that's why it just elevates Real Madrid on that level of like, wow, they're so good. But for whatever reason, Barca has figured them out. I mean, what is this a third time in a row that they've beaten them?
Yeah, we beat them. We beat them in the Super Copa, the final. We beat them 1-0 2 weeks ago in the Copa del Rey, and now we beat them today. But here's the thing. I've told you this quote lots of times. Thierry Henry said it one time, and it's true. It's like every European team fears Real Madrid except Barca. Because the thing is, like, we can be terrible, we can be this, but Barca are never scared of Madrid. The thing with Madrid, this is why they won the Champions League last year, because if you look at who they played, PSG, Chelsea, Man City, then Liverpool. All of them played better than Madrid in all those games. But Madrid just have this thing where, like, first of all, most teams just shit their pants when they play them. Second of all, Madrid just has pedigree, man. It's Madrid. They've won the Champions League 14 times. Like, it's the biggest team in the world. I mean, as a Barca fan, I hate saying it, but, like, they are the biggest team in the world. Like, you can't deny it. That's the thing. But, like, they're not actually, like, great. And I keep telling my whoever doesn't watch Madrid or Barca, I keep telling them, like, Madrid isn't as nice as you think. Like, even when they play Liverpool, like, yeah, they won 5-2, but they're not as nice as you think. It's just the whole world just is scared of them. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel like, I mean, obviously Liverpool hasn't had the most amazing season, and especially if you're comparing it to the last few years. But, like, you can, if you watch the game, you notice Liverpool's playing scared. They don't know what to do. Like, obviously, Vinicius Jr. is just running wild on the left wing, like, destroying Arnold. So, I don't know. It's for whatever reason, it's a Liverpool thing. It's just an issue we have, or it's the fact that, like, Real Madrid has a switch that they just activate during the Champions League. Whatever the reason is, they haven't been able to replicate that same kind of like especially, I don't know, like, they haven't been able to replicate that same kind of vibe in La Liga this year.
It's because the issue I think with Champions League La Liga is first of all, La Liga, because it's 38 games, you have to consistently be winning games, obviously, to win a league. The Champions League, the thing is with it, is that, and even Zidane said this when they three-peated, which is wild to say. Zidane said winning the league is harder than the Champions League, because the Champions League, you don't have to be good to actually win it necessarily. Like, obviously, you have to be, like, good. You can't be shit and win the Champions League, but, like, you don't have to be at your 100% to actually win the Champions League. Like, Madrid were basically terrible for 95% of the game against PSG, both legs. They still won because Benzema scored a hat-trick in 10 minutes. Chelsea, they beat them 3-1 the first leg. Then second leg, they were down 3-0 at the Bernabeu, but then they still ended up winning because it's like, Madrid just like that. They have like this switch, because in the Liga you have to be consistent always. In the Champions League you can have, because Benzema came into the Liverpool game and he was injured, like he was slightly injured, but for like 1 or 2 games you can handle it. But in a league, and you're seeing that because you look at Benzema this year, he's been battling injuries, and they don't have any backups for Benzema. Even like their attack, like I've said this, Madrid has a good team, but like they have a lot of holes that they're not plugging because most of their team is above 30 as well. Because if you look at their midfielders that they're still relying on heavily, Modric is 37, Kroos is 34. Yeah, they have Valverde who plays as like a right winger / midfielder. They have him who's young. They have Camavinga, stuff like that. But Madrid's team is not consistent enough this year anyways to win the league. And they've benefited the last 3 years from having Atletico Madrid and Barca be not really great. I know Atletico Madrid won the league 2 years ago, but they haven't been that good, and neither have Barca, which has benefited Madrid. Not taking away from like the leagues they've won, but if Barca was as good as they were in 2017-18, Madrid wouldn't have won probably one of those leagues. That's the nature of it. Like they've had plugs they've needed to plug in for the long. Like that Champions League win basically convinced people that they're nicer than they are. They haven't realistically been that great since Ronaldo left, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the scary things as a Madrid fan, I'm not a Madrid fan, but I'm just speaking on behalf of Madrid fans possibly, is that what you said is true. Like, their players are getting old. Like, you got some nice young players. You got Valverde, you got Tchouaméni. These are nice young players, nice talents. But you have, like, your main pieces, Modric, Benzema, Kroos. These three guys are so pivotal to your team. But, like, for example, I don't know if I see Benzema on Real Madrid next year.
No, Benzema, unless he retires, Benzema's not playing at any. I don't think Benzema plays at any other team besides Madrid. I think the only team he could play for is he might go back to Lyon for a year because that's where he actually started off, like his academy, everything like that. But no, Benzema would not play for anyone else in Madrid than Madrid in Europe. Besides maybe Lyon, that's it. He's like that. He's too committed to them. And plus, the amount of disrespect he's had over the years by Madrid fans, and by pretty much every fan, they disrespected him so badly. Then after Ronaldo left, you can see that like he's nice. He's like a Giroud in a way. I mean, Benzema's obviously better than Giroud, but Giroud, the thing is, like, they're those type of players that like you'll never actually realize like how good they were, their impact they had until like it's kind of too late in a way. And I'm not saying it's too late because he won the Ballon d'Or, he did win a Champions League without Ronaldo stuff, but it took people for Ronaldo to leave, all that to actually see Benzema's value in a way.
No, I feel that. No, for sure. I mean, and they're obviously going to miss him. Now, him leaving, though, creates space for some new talent to show up. And I know a lot of people are obviously talking about this a lot, especially watching PSG play the last couple of weeks. Probably ever since the World Cup. Honestly, PSG has been so shit ever since the World Cup. But, like, I think the obvious replacement is Mbappe.
I don't know, but the move he pulled during the summer was kind of... I don't know. My thing with Mbappe is that the Madrid fans basically, I mean, a lot of them, like, you don't say no to Mbappe. You obviously don't say no to him. But the thing is with, like, what he did by basically renewing at PSG, he was twerking for Madrid for the last 2 years to just basically tell them, yeah, no, I'm staying at PSG. It's kind of like he could still go there, but he's not going to have, like, there's going to be more pressure on him. Plus, he's not going to have, like, as much of goodwill, I'd say. Now, he is the obvious replacement. PSG's whole project needs to blow up because I think realistically that whole team, like, the whole front three, except maybe Neymar, I think Mbappe is leaving, like, this summer. And Messi for sure is going to, I think Messi goes back to Barca 100% this summer, I think. Like, yeah, the obvious replacement would be Mbappe. But I did mention this to you before, I'm pretty sure. There's I keep forgetting how to say his name. The Napoli guy,
Kvaratskhelia?
Yeah, him. His agent came out, said he's a big Madrid fan. His dad's come out, said he's a big Madrid. Like, for me, that's like the obvious player. But granted, he is a left.
He's a winger.
He's a winger, and you have Vinicius. Like, I don't know. There are players that Madrid can get because I think your biggest hole is probably your attack. Because if Benzema gets injured, who's the striker to replace him? There's the young guy. His name's Alvarado. There's him. He's young. He's like 18, 19. There is, like, he scored in the when they drew 1-1 to Atletico Madrid like a month ago. He scored the tying goal, but he's young. You don't really want to put all that pressure on him. And then besides that, your attack is consisted of what? Asensio, who's not great. Rodrigo, who's like, he's good, but I don't know if he could be a starter.
He seems like he hasn't shown me enough to be like, okay, this guy's a starting talent. Now, he does have potential. I think that
he's had a clutch
give him a
moments.
couple of years. Yeah. But I don't know if like a team like Real Madrid would be willing to invest in that couple of years, right? Yeah. Because
I think overall, but the thing as well, now, Barca and Madrid don't suffer from it a lot because they are the biggest teams, among the biggest teams in the world. But the thing is that the league as a whole, the league has gone so down since Ronaldo, but it kind of went down since Ronaldo left, but especially now that Messi left. Like, basically, the league president, Tebas, the worst president I've ever seen. Basically, if you look at the Premier League, teams like, Bournemouth, Brighton, these, like, teams, like, I don't want to sound like, elitist, but like, quote unquote smaller teams, you could say, are spending like millions, like 40, 50 million on players, and like La Liga, no, Sevilla, Valencia, like these quote unquote big teams in Liga can't even spend a third of that because the league is just cash strapped. That's the thing, because Madrid and Barca had to activate economic levers last year. Now Barca are just in a lot of debt, but Madrid is in a lot of debt too. That's what people don't realize. Madrid's debt isn't as bad as Barca's, but Madrid has a lot of debt too. Atletico Madrid, a lot of teams like the issue. Only because it's Barca, because Barca is like, a big name. But the whole thing that they couldn't register players, a lot of La Liga teams couldn't register players last year as well. But the issue is that the president, instead of trying to fix his league, he's trying to antagonize Barca by saying basically, oh, well, the only team who can sign Mbappe is Real Madrid. We want to rescind Gavi's registration because blah, 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 blah. It's like he's just ruining the league. And that's the issue. And with Barca right now, my thing is like, the project for me, since it's like, you could say year one of the Xavi project, because last year he came in halfway through the season, it's gone better than I expected because, well, after today's game, we're 12 points clear with, I think, 11 games to go. Like, we're pretty much probably going to win the league. My thing is that, I don't know, it means it's Europe. Like, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So I thought it would be kind of fun, given the nature of the Classico, to go through a combined 11 for this season. Now, obviously, I know how you feel about certain players, but we're gonna talk about it anyway. Give you guys our perspective, and then maybe you guys in the comments can tell us what you think about the combined 11 between Real Madrid and Barcelona. This is strictly based on this season alone. Okay, so yeah.
You want to give yours first?
I think we talk position by position.
So we have to keep in mind, and keep in mind also, like, obviously fully healthy, everything.
Fully healthy. No, we include Pedri. We everybody fully healthy. They're going to be considered.
Fully
and
healthy.
I say we'll consider a 4-3-3 formation.
Yeah.
We'll start from the goalie. So I think that this is a place where I agree with you. I think Ter Stegen is the.
Yeah, this year, post hair transplant Ter Stegen is probably the best in the world, along with Alisson. I think the only keeper in the world who's better than Ter Stegen this year has been Alisson. I can't think of anyone else. Honestly.
Yeah, and what's weird about Alisson is that because his team is playing so bad, it's really people
you don't notice it as much.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
But Ter Stegen, how many 6 clean?
Bro, Ter Stegen, I think Barca have kept 19 clean sheets in the first 25 games. That's a record. Like Ter Stegen, and he's outperforming because based on XG stuff like that, Barca should have conceded 20 goals this year. I think that we've only conceded 8 or 9 in the league.
Yeah, no, they're doing great.
He's outperforming his XG a lot. That's the thing, and because like I mentioned earlier, we've been winning a lot of games 1-0 recently. Like we won 1-0 against Athletic Bilbao, 1-0 against Madrid in the Copa del Rey, 1-0 against I think it was Valencia. We've been winning 1-0 against a lot of teams. That's the thing. So I'd say Ter Stegen.
Yeah, so you were to consider overall, it's really hard to put Ter Stegen over Courtois, but this season alone, I think Ter Stegen takes it.
Yeah, well, no, this season for sure. I mean, overall, even then, I think there is an argument.
So?
It's not
it's not completely.
because if you say Courtois, I wouldn't disagree with you. But then again, I don't think you should say Ter Stegen doesn't have a claim, because Ter Stegen, especially during the Valverde era, which people tend to overlook because they just look at basically the European failures that we had under him. But when Valverde was coach, the La Ligas we were winning, yeah, we were good, but we were being carried heavily by Messi and Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen would save our ass in a lot of those games, and Barca fans will know this. Ter Stegen, basically, I'd say probably before COVID, before 2020, Ter Stegen was amazing. Then after that, for 2-3 years, he wasn't good. Then he went to Turkey, got a hairline, and
that's it.
He's been kicking ass, man.
Bro, they need a drug test to that. Bro, what kind of drugs are they putting into him?
I swear. And then we can go right back for now. So if we're gonna go based on this season, who's been playing right back for Barca? It's been Koundé for the most part. Now Koundé and Carvajal, I would go Koundé.
I would go Koundé too. I mean, Carvajal is
Carvajal, obviously 5 Champions Leagues, amazing, but he's getting older.
He's getting older. You can tell. He's kind of I mean, I don't know. If you guys watched today's Classico, he was kind of doing a lot of flip-flopping around. I feel like Koundé does a lot in the back. He's really good. He pushed forward a lot today. I think he's been playing better. He has playing better on a team that's doing better, to be fair. But he's part of the reason.
Well, the stats back it up. Like I said, the defense that Barca has right now is the best in Europe.
Exactly.
Is the best in Europe, I'm pretty sure.
So, for me personally, so I think Koundé over Carvajal, and I think a lot of people would agree. But, I think even center back wise, I think it's really hard to ignore. Araujo is in. He walks into that shit.
Araujo's in. Now, between Christensen, Militao, Rudiger. Now, okay. I'm going to say it like this. I'm not going to disagree with anyone who wants to put Rudiger or Militao over Christensen. I won't disagree because if I say Christensen, it's going to look like I'm biased.
Yeah.
But what I will say is that Christensen was a free signing. And the Chelsea fans, a lot of them were basically saying that like, well, this was the funny thing is, they're basically saying we're giving Barca our scraps, Christensen for free, and we're going to get Koundé, which, that didn't happen, did it? But the thing is, and a lot of people were saying, oh, Madrid got the better defender. But the thing is, Rudiger hasn't, Christensen's been outperforming Rudiger this year in defensively. And also, Christensen was free. Rudiger cost him, I think, 30 or 40 million. So I would, based on those criteria, I would put Christensen. Now, I'm not going to disagree with anyone who puts Militao or Rudiger. This is just based on my opinion, obviously. So that's what I would say. I don't know if you would agree or disagree, but those are basically my criteria.
I think it's it becomes tough because you're really considering because we put the criteria of this season. We're only really considering this season. Now, obviously, if I was to say like, oh, you're talking about last season, whatever.
Yeah,
I think Militao
Militao goes.
In.
Yeah,
Militao
Militao
he walks
goes,
into that combined 11.
He does, yeah.
But this season, I'm not I'm not mad to put Christensen in because of just how dominant I feel Barca has been in the back.
Yeah, exactly. I would say, I would definitely say, yeah, I would agree with that. Now, if you go left back, so we would put either, well, not Alba because Alba's not starting that much. So it would be Balde against probably Ferland Mendy. Who else plays that left back for Madrid? Ferland Mendy.
Nacho's been playing.
I mean, David Alaba can play there, but either way, I think Balde outperforms all of them as well. Ferland Mendy's been injured for a decent amount of times this year. And I've been seeing a lot of on Twitter, social media. I've been seeing some Madrid fans calling for him to be dropped. So I don't know. I don't watch every Madrid game, obviously. I keep up, but I have been seeing calls to drop Mendy that they should probably get hot, recruit probably better left back stuff. No, obviously I'm not a Madrid fan, so I can't tell you to 100% if he has been bad. I can tell you for sure though, Balde's been better than every one of them. I think.
Okay, so I think again it's really hard because I don't think that Nacho or Ferland Mendy have been that outstanding to be
or consistently playing as well.
Yeah, consistently playing as Balde has for Barcelona. So I think literally the back line is just a clean sweep for
I think backline. I think backline for me. I think maybe you can debate one of the center backs, but I think right back, goalie, and then left back. I don't think those can really be debates because now where it gets spicy, I'd say, midfield is very hard because so we would do a 4-3-3, so we'd have a DM and then 2 number 8s, right? So we'd have CDM 2 number 8. So you're basically gonna have that. Listen, man, you know me when it comes to Busquets.
Busquets is
I don't know because so if you're gonna play, it depends if you put Busquets or De Jong. Now me, if I'm gonna say, so if I were to compare, you take Busquets, De Jong who can play there, and then you take Camavinga, Tchouaméni, all of them. I'm not putting Busquets because for every nice ass pass Busquets can give you, he can also give you some shit. He almost cost a goal today. You remember that? Yeah.
He just doesn't seem as
he's not what he was, man. That's
doesn't seem as strong as he is in that position. He seems like he's really just I don't know fuck it.
That's because Busquets, man, I feel like he tries to play too lax. You feel like he has the ball, he tries to do a little
there's no urgency in his play.
It's very
you
lazy.
You can tell he's old.
It's very late. No, it's not even that he's old.
Go to Japan, bitch. It's done.
It's not even that he's old. Busquets has always been like that, but the thing is, Busquets had Iniesta and Xavi when he was in his prime. Do you have Iniesta and Xavi now? No.
Of course not. Xavi's but I mean, obviously, he was an amazing player in his own way.
He still is. No, Busquets is still, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best CDM of all time.
Really?
But I think now,
a really strong argument for that.
So
so then for Madrid, you're really looking at Camavinga.
I think you know what I think.
Tchouaméni.
I think you'd put Camavinga. Yeah. Honestly, Camavinga. The thing is with him is that every time I see him play, man, a lot of, especially when I would see last year. I know we're talking about this year. I'm just talking this year he's done it too, but last year as well. It's whenever Madrid were down and needed something, you'd put Camavinga there, and he would he does a job. He's good, and people need to remember, bro. He's 20, starting or playing a lot of minutes for the biggest team in the world, and he's 20.
He's
not
really
easy. He's nice.
He rises to the occasion.
He's nice.
He provides a lot of energy. He's all over the place. You feel
he's
you
nice.
know what I mean? So I think that's really hard. I think Camavinga walks into that DM position for our combined 11. It's easy.
think now the issue is that because De Jong, I wouldn't class as a DM because the thing is with De Jong, he's a ball carrier.
Yeah.
Like he plays, he kind of plays the number 8 role.
Mm-hmm.
Like he plays like a box. He plays kind of like a hybrid of a 6 and an 8 because he's not a traditional like number. He's not a Pedri, for example. That's like a traditional number 8, but he's not a number 6. Like he's not a DM. He's a ball carrier. Now, based on that criteria, I can't put De Jong in the midfield. I'd have to. My midfield would be Camavinga, Pedri, and Modric. I think that's my midfield right there. Camavinga, Pedri, and Modric. I think that's what I would do with midfield.
Yeah. I think Modric has had like a pretty great season so far. Obviously, his World Cup campaign speaks for itself. He was just basically he was Croatia's team. Like everything was running through Modric. He's just so
he's
nice to watch.
He's evergreen, man.
He's so nice to watch, this guy, man. And you know what? I think there's nobody like Pedri is an easy pick. Like,
you have to put one Barca midfielder in there. Now, as much as I love Gavi, I can't justify putting Gavi over Modric. You can't put Gavi in there. Like the only Barca midfielder who goes in there to me is Pedri because if you're gonna go based on DM, you would put Busquets over Camavinga, Tchouaméni. I think Camavinga, Tchouaméni are better right now because like Busquets, as much as I love him, I think he's somewhat washed, to be honest.
No, I mean he is, but with all due respect.
And Pedri, and then you have to put Modric. You can't like as much as I am a Barca fan, I can't deny that. Now attack. This is okay. Now this is.
Let's start with the easy one, left wing.
Left wing is Vinicius.
Get out of the way.
Yeah,
get out of the way.
Vinicius is
he's having another great season. He's probably gonna be in I don't think he'll win the Ballon d'Or, but he'll be in contention. He'll be, I think, at least top 5.
I don't think they put him in team of the season as well. He wasn't even a team of the season player this year. Like when they made the team of the season for 2022 or whatever, like UEFA, I don't think he was included in it.
Who was the left wing?
I don't know, but it wasn't Vinicius. I'm pretty sure it wasn't him.
Was it Mbappe?
I don't know what it was actually, but point is, bro, I hate Vinicius so much. He's so fucking.
He's kind of like
he's annoying.
He's a player you
annoying,
like
man.
when he's on your team.
Yeah.
But you don't like you pisses you off.
Yo,
like, I watch him today, and I'm like, wow, amazing player, whatever. I watch him against Liverpool. I'm like, bro, fucking die. Leave me alone.
The way Madrid fans view Vinicius is the way I used to view Suarez.
Yeah.
Suarez, it was the same thing. He's like the type of player that like he's not on your team, you can't stand it because he flops all the time, he complains all the time to the ref and stuff like that. But he's just so good, and like he's a player you want on your team. That's Vinicius because I can understand why Madrid fans love Vinicius. Because he's fucking obnoxious. He's so annoying, but he's good. The thing is, he backs it up. He's very good.
He's very good.
He's
so deadly with his right foot. Like
he's amazing, man. He's fast
and very quick.
I remember I used to make fun. I remember I made a bet. I remember with one of my friends back in the day. This is when they played Liverpool in 2021 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. This is when Vinicius was still very hit and miss because he used to start off. He was a winger basically, where like all pace, all skill, no finishing, no end product, nothing. And I remember I told my friend, I made a bet. Like I made like a little joke bet with him. I'm like, man, I bet you like $10 right now. If Vinicius even scores one goal like this game, I'll give you $10. Something like that. He ended up scoring 2 goals.
No, he's the kind of player. So first of all, like his stats are amazing. Don't get me wrong, but you really have to watch him to appreciate what he does because the way that he just like spaces that you think he can't get in, he'll get in. Yeah. Right? Passes you think he can't make, he's a great passer. He's good. Right? He has a nice finesse shot. Like he's a really like there's I can barely think of anybody on the left wing today.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think the only winger you can compete with him in the world right now, you could put Martinelli for Arsenal has been great. Yeah, the guy from Napoli, I keep forgetting how to say his name.
Kvaratskhelia.
That's how you say it. You could put like a decent amount of wingers, but no, I think if you want to include Rashford as a left winger, him. But like there aren't really many left wingers you can compete with Vinicius in the world anyway. So that's a lock.
Rashford has been in terms of his success this season. Obviously, to get off topic a little bit, in terms of his success this season, he's been playing on the left. But still, he's not like.
We'll get on that after.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk Premier League after this. But anyway, so left wing. Vinny, it's easy. Striker.
This is very debatable.
This is a hard one.
Listen. Lewandowski pre-World Cup was amazing. Yeah. Lewandowski post-World Cup has not been good.
Like even today, he was just doing some like really questionable shit.
Like he did like a hockey assist, you could say, for the winning goal because he did the back heel to Balde and stuff. So But it's just like his scoring. Like even when we played Athletic Bilbao last week, there's a lot of stuff like goals, like moments like you think he should be scoring because a player of his caliber should be scoring, but he's just not doing it. So post World Cup Lewandowski has been not great. Now Benzema this year hasn't been that great either. So
I disagree. I think
in La Liga he hasn't been like wow, and Champions League he's been good. He did score 3 goals in the Liverpool tie. He scored 2 in Anfield, 1 at the Bernabeu. So he has been good Champions League wise, but I think it's not really through his fault. Like okay, if I'm gonna go, I'm gonna say probably Benzema.
Yeah.
Because I think Benzema take out like injuries. I know it's a very annoying thing to say. Like Benzema basically when he's playing he's better than Lewandowski. I think this year he's been better than Lewandowski.
Yeah.
I think because he offers you a bit more than Lewandowski because his hold up play, playmaking, everything is a bit better. Now Lewandowski you could say is probably a better finisher, but like I think overall right now I would say
he's
Benzema.
More helpful to the team.
Yeah, he is more
He's
helpful because he
in the
drops
attack.
deep. He can like help carry the play. I think I'd probably say Benzema.
Agreed. Okay.
Now right wing, Dembele.
Right wing. So
Dembele.
basically, what I have, and obviously this is arguable because Valverde plays sometimes
No.
in the midfield.
No. Dembele. Even if Dembele.
Word.
Because okay, no Madrid player goes on the right wing. It's either between Dembele and Rafinha for me. Now Rafinha's been great recently, but to me Dembele's just like man, he just like
Dembele's got some sauce.
Bro, if Dembele played. And this was annoying me. If he played that game we played against the Madrid in the Copa del Rey, with the amount of space they were leaving him behind, bro, we could have won that shit like 4-0.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Dembele. The difference between him and Rafinha is that Rafinha, he's very good. His finishing is better. He's like, I'd say maybe a bit more clinical, but like Dembele's skill, plus he's both feet, he's pacey, everything is just like.
I think a lot of people agree.
Nice.
I think the only thing that Dembele has in like that kind of it goes against him
is sometimes
his consistency.
His I'd say because okay, if you look at. He was the top playmaker in La Liga last year, but the thing is, a lot of his like assists are like crosses and stuff. So this is good, but I think Dembele a lot of times like he is frustrating to watch sometimes because he's basically what I want. Vinicius is what I want Dembele to be. Like Vinicius is a bit better than Dembele to me because Vinicius added finishing to his game. Dembele still has to add a bit more finishing to his game, in my opinion. Yeah. But. So yeah, that would be a combined level. What you'd say? Yeah. So that would be.
So let's start. Let's recap their combined 11. So in goal we have Ter Stegen.
Well, clean sweep of probably Barca on defense, or would you put Militao?
Yeah. No. I would clean today.
Clean sweep.
I'm saying
as of today, clean sweep the defense for Barca.
So it's Ter Stegen. Right back is Koundé. 2 center backs are Christensen and Araujo.
Left back
is Balde.
And then
midfield we have Camavinga as a DM. Pedri and
Modric. And then Benzema, Vinicius, and then that would be 7 Barca players to 4 Madrid players.
Yeah, and I think I think a lot of people agree based on La Liga, based on just the general season. I think a lot of people agree that this is pretty fair. I think, but obviously, if you disagree, you guys can leave your combined 11s in the comments, and you guys can discuss down there. But it's time to move on to
Premier League. Yo, no, we gotta talk about this.
Well, I was gonna talk about the Barcelona scandal if you want to, but we can save that for another time.
Yeah, we need to save that for another.
Okay, we're gonna save the Barcelona scandal for another time. See, because we're gonna wait until like maybe a little bit more information comes out. It's a little bit surface level at the point.
Exactly.
So
they're innocent. Barca are
innocent until proven guilty. That's all we're gonna say for now.
Now, Premier League, man, this is gonna be okay. I'll let you start off.
Let's start off with obviously looking at the table. The table is we have Arsenal, which is 8 points clear of Man City. But they have played 1 game more than Man City.
Yeah, we have.
So, but obviously, then even if Man City wins that game, this will be 5 points clear. But the title race is between Arsenal and Man City. Nobody else. Man United fans, go kill yourself. Tottenham fans, I mean, they're probably not staying. That
Your own coach is banned. I need to look because here's the thing, right? Is that the title race honestly all comes down, in my opinion, to Arsenal's last 4 games. Because if I look at this schedule right here, Arsenal's last 4 games are against. I know that's gonna be tough. We're playing. Not the last 4 games, sorry. The month of April is going to be tough because we have Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Leeds, West Ham. So Arsenal's last remaining games are a bit tougher than Man City. Now, all I would say is that I think Arsenal can win every one of those games except Man City. To me,
Man City's going to be a tough game, yeah.
Man City would be tough. I mean, no matter how bad Liverpool are, Liverpool at Anfield is always tough for whoever plays there.
Liverpool is just a weird team, bro.
Man United,
they'll lose to Bournemouth. But then beat Man United 7-0. So Liverpool is like a weird game. Like you guys can.
It's unpredictable.
You probably win it.
Yeah.
I say you probably win it, but it's kind of like it's really weird, and you don't know what form of Liverpool is gonna show up. But
that's the thing because us at Anfield we're not good at Anfield. Like Arsenal, I think. Well, when's the last time Arsenal even won at Anfield? It's been like fucking bro. It's probably like 2015 or something. We haven't won in Anfield in ages. Man City's the same thing. The thing is that. Liverpool, like you said, they're inconsistent. So honestly, the only team I could see us like, I'm not gonna say for sure, but like I think would be tough to beat is Man City. Now, for me, granted, and I know it sounds maybe like very defensive, but like me, I would honestly go to Man City, not park the bus, but I would just try to like obviously try to win. But getting a draw honestly works just fine as long as Man City are losing points and we're gaining points. At the end of the day, even if they win their game in hand, they're 5 points behind us. If we can just basically avoid them taking 3 points against us, and then we do our thing against the other teams, which we should be able to, because we're only playing one game a week now. We got knocked out the other day.
That's the thing.
In
So
the Europa.
that's the nice thing about. So first of all, in order for Arsenal to win the league this year, they'll have to work for it. That's obvious, right?
No.
However, Man City still in the Champions League. Man City still in the FA Cup race.
Yeah.
So which Arsenal's not. Now that means that basically Arsenal can hopefully be well rested. Play their games, play the Premier League games at full strength, hopefully, and then seal up this title race. Now, as me personally, because I'm not an Arsenal fan, right? I don't hate Arsenal though. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I'm not a Man City fan. Okay, you ask me who I want to win. I want Arsenal to win. Why? Because first of all, Man City, you guys are done. Like I'm sick of seeing you guys win. Right? I've accepted that Liverpool's out of the race. They've been out of the race since like probably the third game of the season. Now I want.
Yeah, you guys got piped, man.
Yeah, we've been getting screwed since like literally we lost to Man United in the third game.
Yo, the worst part is that look at this. Liverpool, like if like just going back on them real quick, they beat Man United 7-0 and they beat Bournemouth 9-0 in the span of the same season.
Same season, and we're sixth.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah,
and we're sixth.
It's so weird. It's weird.
In the terms of the Premier League, we are the most inconsistent team.
It's weird because
it's so weird. I don't get it.
For me, honestly, the way I see it is because Arsenal this year, my expectations were okay. Me minimum, I was thinking top 4 because for me this year going into it, I was saying that it was gonna be Man City. Actually, no, I predicted Liverpool to win. Funnily, I predicted Liverpool to win the Premier League this year. I did say that because Man City are under 3P right now, and 3Ping the league is very hard. Like the last team who's done it was Man United from 2006 to 8, but they had Ronaldo on that team.
Yeah, so I think Arsenal winning this year, winning the Premier League title race this year, inshallah. Okay. They win this year. It's a testament to obviously the level of teamwork that they've been able to like sort of like work together.
Bro, the recruiting, the process, man. It's the process.
When they started, you can correct me if I'm wrong. There was 2 major signings that weren't like super major, but like they were big signings, which were Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. Were like the major signings of like Arsenal's like offseason.
Here's the thing, honestly, is that I don't think those signings are what are making us win the Premier League. Now, don't get me wrong. Especially without Zinchenko, because Jesus has been out for half the season. We're still where we are.
That's what I'm saying.
I think without Zinchenko and you put Tierney there, I don't know if we'd actually be top of the league, but we'd be at worst second. Yeah. We wouldn't be worse than second. Because Tierney's a very good left back. Zinchenko just offers more because, man, Zinchenko now, obviously this is just the Barca fan speaking of me because I do like Barca a bit more than Arsenal, obviously. Bro, I would love him at Barca. He's so like man.
He's a good leader.
Bro, a good leader. His technique, his touch, his passing, his everything. He's such a smart player.
Yeah.
Like he's a midfielder as a left back. I mean, which originally he is a midfielder. That's the thing. Like Pep put him as a left back at Man City to cover up there because Man City have never actually had like great left backs under Pep. He put him there and he did well. That's the thing. But for me, I don't think it's those signings necessarily. I think it's just like. Because Arteta took over in 2019 when we had bums, where we had Socrates, Maitland-Niles, David Luiz, we had Ceballos, we had Pepe, Lacazette, we had Ozil who was washed at that point. We had a lot of like deadwood. He had to get rid of them gradually, build with a younger team, and then he had to make smart signings. Because a lot of the signings we made, bro, pretty much everyone ridiculed. Like, okay, look at our backline, for example. The only player in our backline who people actually said was like a good, sensible sign, there was 2 of them. There was... Not even Saliba. It was Tierney and it was Gabriel. Because Gabriel, Man United wanted him, and he ended up coming to us. Tierney was looked at by a lot of people. He ended up coming to Arsenal. He was Celtic captain, everything like that. Now, we got Aaron Ramsdale. People were saying, relegated with Sheffield or Bournemouth. Like, Aaron Ramsdale, not good. relegation keeper. We got him. We got Tomiyasu. But Tomiyasu was playing for Bologna in the Italian league. Bologna aren't a good team. Like, they're a small team in the Italian league. So we got him. Even though he's been in and out with injury stuff like that, but he's still been there. We got Ben White from Brighton. And in the first game he played with us, we got spanked 4-0 by Brentford. So people were talking shit about that. We got Saliba, who, was good, but Saliba was 18 when we got him. That's the thing. So a lot of the recruits we made, and then, also, there was a debate between should we get Odegaard or James Maddison. Including myself, actually. I said James Maddison because, Premier League proven stuff like that. So a lot of our signings were doubted. Xhaka, who's been in our midfield, was shit on for a lot of. Ever since he's been at Arsenal, bro. Ever since he's been at Arsenal, everyone's just been shitting on him constantly. Especially after the Crystal Palace thing 4 years ago when he threw the captain's armband, yelled at the defense, stuff like that. No, it was not. That's the thing. Like, it's been just like a long, hard process. You can't say Arsenal men aren't loyal, man. We went through 2 seasons of finishing 8th, finishing 5th. We were meant to make top 4 last year. We screwed up at the end. We lost to Spurs, we lost to Newcastle, and then we just got. Fuck, I think this year, man, it's honestly just been a combination of just smart recruiting and time. Because if I were to make a comparison, now obviously it is a bit different with Chelsea because Chelsea spent like a king's ransom on signings this year. But the thing is with Potter, I don't think Potter has the sauce like I don't think he's nice like that personally. But like, it takes time. Under Arteta, it's like even after a year, I still couldn't actually like I was Arteta. I mean, pretty much I think 95% of Arsenal fans were Arteta out by like especially during that Christmas period of 2020, where we went like 1 out of 13 games we went like 1 win in 13 games. We lost at home to fucking what was it? Burnley. We lost to Aston Villa. We lost to Leicester. I think we lost to like hella teams. I know it was terrible. We were all Arteta out at that moment. Because he had been there for a year, I couldn't actually see like a style of play or nothing.
I think Arsenal's also benefiting from like this sort of perfect storm because like you have a lot of players that are just coming into like this insane form. Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, Xhaka, like they're coming into this insane form.
Martinelli as well.
Martinelli, like he's great. Like he's so like Martinelli's fun to watch, eh?
He's so fun.
He's fun to watch, and like I think that's like all of these together are allowing Arsenal, and obviously Arteta like is like he's being appreciated this year for what he's done for Arsenal, but it does take time. As a manager, I can imagine that it does take time for you to really just like have your influence on a team and how they play.
Yeah, because implementing a style is hard.
It's tough, man, especially if it's a change.
But especially because if you go from years of media... Because, okay, like I'm just going to say this real quick, then I'll hop on to the other topic, which is Spurs. The thing is, if you look at Arsenal, they've been mediocre for years. Now, it takes it because a lot of the time... Because when a culture sets in of mediocrity in a team, when a culture sets in like that, it takes like a lot to stamp it out. So Arteta had to stamp that out. He had to get rid of a lot of players. Like, for example, he got, like, the biggest one was he got rid of Aubameyang, which he was the captain who led us to the FA Cup, top goal scorer, top striker, blah, blah. Everyone pretty much loved him. Now, yeah, towards his last few months, he wasn't that great. There was a lot of dip in form, but the thing is like, that was a big call from him. He also axed Ozil. He did, like, a lot of stuff, like, were very questioned. Now, because you have to get to the point where, like, you have to show, like, who the boss is. You have to show the bosses. Him axing Aubameyang basically like showed the team, like even if he got sacked, even whatever, it showed that like he's a serious guy. And I think a lot of the players, like even though maybe like they loved Oba, we all still love Oba obviously, even though he went to Chelsea, pagan, but we still all love him. But the thing is, like in hindsight, it was the right decision because everyone's behind Arteta now. Like it does, like implement the way Arsenal playing right now just reminds me of like Man City. Always there's pressure. Always like if you look at the goals we're scoring, especially today against Crystal Palace, a lot of it's like one touch football. A lot of pressing, good passing, counterattacking. Everything's like it's all like coming together, but that takes time to implement, which is what I would tell Chelsea fans. Like, obviously, I want Chelsea to suffer. Like,
oh my god, Chelsea fans are the most annoying, and I'm a Liverpool fan. I know how annoying we are, but Chelsea fans are next level. Like y'all spent $600 million for 11th place.
Yeah, what are they? 11th?
I think they're 11th. Like,
bro, they beat Dortmund, barely beat Leeds, and thought they were back, man. Everton was.
Oh my god, I want to see Real Madrid just absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Nah, it's not even that.
Because you hate it.
I want Chelsea to win. I hate Real. I don't know. Yeah. But this is the thing. Going but now, the thing is now this is the thing for the ages, man. This is like the Ronaldo interview. I think this is worse than the Ronaldo interview. The Conte interview from yesterday, man. I think that's worse. I think the press conference yesterday that was worse than Ronaldo's because, man, he comes out, basically calls his players shit.
Yeah.
He calls his players shit, selfish. Says that they're basically all losers.
They're not trying.
They're basically not trying. Basically called like the culture. Basically called all of them losers, saying there's been a culture here for 20 years of just losing. They're not used to playing under pressure. Called out the owner, who's the guy who can fire him, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he should
did
fire
all
him.
this shit and basically like, bro, honestly, if you're gonna go based on like the way Spurs are playing, like, okay, Conte, in my opinion, like. I don't fuck with like him winning the league with Chelsea, stuff like that was good, but that specific style of play. First of all, he had better players with Chelsea. Obviously, he had Hazard, all of them, but like that type of play, I don't feel like suits the Premier League. Like in Italy, it suits it because Italian football isn't as fast paced. I'd say as Premier League. Not that it's not as good, but it's not as fast paced. Like you can get away with playing the way Conte plays in Italy because he was playing 3-5-2. you know, he was playing like somewhat possession based, a lot of counter attacking stuff like that. But what did he have? He had 2 clinical strikers, Lukaku. He had Lautaro Martinez. He had all these guys, and the thing is with is like, you can't do it at a team. First of all, Spurs, man. Spurs can't like. It didn't work with Mourinho. It didn't work with Conte. Like at the end of the day, there needs to be a cultural reset, and that starts off with. In my opinion, man, they need to bin pretty much that whole team. The only player who actually like carries his load is Harry Kane. Now Son was doing it for the longest time. This year he hasn't been doing it, but Harry Kane's the only one who I can't really criticize that much. Even though Harry Kane, it gets to a point where you're 30, man. You need to win one trophy, but I'm gonna absolve him most of the blame. But that whole team's just filled with losers.
Yeah, I think from like in defense of Harry Kane, like he does his thing. He's a really good player. He's a generational striker. Like he's one of the best strikers in Premier League history, right? But it feels so like wasted.
Better than Haaland, by the way.
I mean, Haaland is his first year in the Premier League.
Nah, he's better. Continue.
Okay, but anyway, his talents are being wasted in Tottenham. Like, and at the end of the day, like I'm not a Tottenham hater, honestly. Like I look at Tottenham and I feel bad for these guys. Holy shit, I feel bad for them because they're such a poverty franchise. It's actually ridiculous. Okay,
bro.
I love a lot of their players.
No.
I like a lot of their players. I love Son. I love him.
I don't know, man.
I think Harry Kane, bro.
Son
Harry
pissed
Kane,
me off. That diving prick. Every time we play them, every time Arsenal fucking play Spurs, one of those 2 bastards like just dive. They just dive, get penalties, all that shit. I don't know, man.
I mean, you're an Arsenal fan, so I can understand where your animosity towards the Spurs comes from. You have people, you have friends that support the Spurs, so you want to rag on them. I don't have that. I don't really have anybody that I know on like a close level that supports the Spurs. All I see is what I see from the media. When I watch their games, they are just sad, bro. They are sad.
It's terrible.
What was that? Who were they playing recently? They were up 3-1.
Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, Southampton, who bottom of the league.
Bro, like after I saw that shit,
okay,
especially because like bro, I was on Twitter while the game was going on.
Yeah.
Tottenham up 3-1. GG's.
I watched that whole game. No, I will say this though. That was never a penalty. That penalty that Southampton got, that was never a penalty. Yeah. That is not a penalty.
Yeah, man, listen.
That's never a penalty, bro. I'm happy, bro. Maitland-Niles is the one who won it. Maitland-Niles is my guy. Arsenal Loney, my guy, you know. But, like, that's never a penalty. But the thing is, man, it's like once you... Here's the thing, man. Being a Spurs fan must suck. Because here's the thing, right? If you're watching Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, if you watch them and they go through, like, shit periods, whatever, at least you can say, well... Arsenal, you know, they win things. Man City win things. It's like, what if Spurs got the look on? Yeah. Like, for the under Poch, it was like, oh, we play attractive football, you know, 2nd, 3rd in the league, top 4, Champions League final. It's like, okay, cool, but like, what do they have to look forward now? Their style of play is shit. Yeah. Their manager doesn't want to be there. Most of their players suck. No. They're not going to win they're not winning the league, obviously. They're out of the Champions League. I think they're out of both domestic. They're out of everything. They can't win a trophy this year. They're probably not going to win a trophy for the next, like, fucking, I don't know how long. That's the thing, man. Yeah. It's like... What did they have to look forward to?
So, now having said that,
like,
right,
it must suck.
In terms of, as a Spurs fan, we're sorry. We apologize. Like
I don't. Fuck you.
I apologize.
Talking about
we're talking about Conte, right? Do you agree with what he said and the way that you agree?
Yes, 100%. I think because Conte was going to leave regardless at the end of the season. Conte was not, even if they got top 4, whatever, he was going to leave. Yeah, Conte was going to leave, and I think it got to the point now where like. Well, I would have said maybe wait till the end of the season, but I don't disagree with it because, bro, it gets to a point where, like, Conte doesn't really give a shit about Spurs. We'll keep it a buck. He does. He rejected them in the first place. He literally rejected them, and then he went there like a year later. But at first, he did reject them. He didn't want to go there because he knows, bro. But the thing is, I don't think he really cares about sacrificing his job and stuff because first of all, a lot of Spurs fans I've been seeing, even though they can't stand the way they're playing, they're like a lot of them want him out at this point. Especially they've been wanting him out after they lost to Sheffield in the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, I think it was one of them. Yeah, they've been wanting him out since then. But the thing is like, I agree with the message 100% because even Spurs fans are like, yeah, I don't like his style of play, but like, I can't like not say he's right. He is right, man. Like it gets to a point where just the culture of losing has set in there. Like they're not winning bro, it's not hard. Like Premier League Champions League, okay, I get that, but it's not hard to win like a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup. Like not every year, but at least competing for one.
I mean,
like,
listen, that's the saddest part. Now, obviously, I think that I agree with what he said, but I don't agree with the approach or the action because at the end of the day, you have players that quite frankly are probably still trying. I don't think that they're not trying, right? But like there's probably an issue with team chemistry. There's probably an issue with like. with the management.
Yeah, but
That's why I don't agree. I don't agree that you go on the media, especially because the media are known for like just taking a story and running with it.
Yeah.
You don't go to the media and say, "My team, I'm the leader of this team, I'm the manager of this team, and you know what? I'm gonna like drag them through the mud because these are players. They're obviously they don't like losing. Nobody on the planet likes to lose.
Look, I would disagree with you just based on the fact that, like, look, it gets to a point. First of all, I don't even feel bad for any of them. There's only a few players, like, okay, for example, Kulusevski, who's been there only like a year. I mean, Bentancur's injured him. There's a few players that, like, I'll absolve, like Pedro Porro is new. There's a few players, yeah, but like a lot of Spurs' team, even Harry Kane, as good as he's been, the thing is that, bro, like they're just like, it gets to a point where, like, man, you need to just restart. They've been like, there isn't a coincidence they've been losing. Like, they're getting Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, bro. They've won everywhere they've went except Spurs. There's a reason for that. Like, it gets to the point where you just have to look at it like they're not winning.
Yeah.
Something needs to change because Conte. Now, what I will disagree with him is that Conte has to take like a decent amount of the blame because Conte this shouldn't absolve Conte of anything. Like, the style of play that they're playing is solely on him. A lot of the players they got were his, like Perisic he wanted, Fraser Forster he wanted. I mean, I know for a fact he didn't want fucking Jet Spence. He never played him and then loaned them out. Who else did they get? Basuma. He wanted Basuma. There's a lot of players that they were like Conte did want them, so you can't say that he wasn't backed because Pochettino did more with less. Pochettino wasn't backed. Jose Mourinho wasn't that backed. He was a bit more backed than Pochettino, but wasn't that backed. Conte's been backed at least, so that's the thing. It's not completely like management's fault. Where I will say Conte takes about 34% of the blame because the style of play, everything, team chemistry, like you mentioned, that falls on him as the coach. Yeah. But the culture itself of just accepting mediocrity, that comes from the top.
I agree. The ownership, after this season, because Conte, there's no way he stays. I mean, I think
no. There's no way, especially after that interview. He was gonna leave, but that interview just confirmed it.
But I mean, like, my only point is that he might even be kicked out earlier.
No, I don't think so. Well, if Spurs weren't in a top four battle, he would have been sacked. Spurs are in a top four battle right now. Yeah. I think it'd be stupid of them to sack him. As much as like, well, he would like this. Well, the way they're here's the, I would say the way they're playing and stuff, but they are third or fourth. They're fourth. They're fourth right now,
right behind Man United.
That's the thing. They are 7 points
up of Liverpool. So like. They're
based on results and what Spurs, like, I guess I wouldn't say it's what Spurs fans want because a lot of them have said if we don't get top four, I don't care, I just want a trophy. But then again, he is getting you top four, so based on results, I wouldn't say you should sack him. But I think, I guess to the point where, like, well, you can't do better. You can't really do much better than Conte. I know a lot of them are saying they want Luis Enrique, but, bro, trust me, he was a Barca manager. He's a Spain manager. Fun fact, I'm also a Spain fan. I didn't mention that, but I know how Luis Enrique works, bro. Luis Enrique is, like, in the mold of, like, a Pep or a Mikel Arteta, those type of guys, like a Klopp. He needs specific players for the way he plays. You can't go into Spurs with Højbjerg and fucking Pedro Porro and Eric Dyer and Christian Romero and turn them into ball-playing players. No, he needs a set amount of players. So if you want Luis Enrique, cool. But you're not going to be good. For at least the first year or two, you're not going to be great because he's going to have to flush out a bunch of players, get new ones in, and then implement his style of play on that team. So I think Spurs, honestly, man, I think it's time to pull the plug. Sell Harry Kane, sell Son.
I think you need
to sell Kane, Son, get some money, restart. You guys are probably going to be shit for at least the next 5 years. Well, man, who knows? Go through what Arsenal did. Arsenal were garbage for 3 years. Look at us now. I mean, you'll never be Arsenal. You'll always be small, but, you know.
No, but I think the sentiment here is correct because at the end of the day, like, there's no, like, everyone knows there's no trophy for getting fourth place in the Premier League table. No one gives a shit. All right, let's be honest. No one cares if you're fourth place in the Premier League table. Okay, you qualify for Champions League, but nobody, and I'm including Spurs fans, nobody thinks that Spurs will win the Champions League next season. So again, there's no trophy for fourth place.
I don't even think they'll make it. I don't think they'll even qualify for the Champions League.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I want Liverpool to kind of make a final.
I think Liverpool will.
And a season push.
I think Liverpool will.
Newcastle's also like kind of in contention with that, but
no,
Newcastle's dropping off a little bit. But I mean, I don't want to talk about Newcastle because like right now.
Well, Newcastle doesn't have Newcastle dropping. Them being in this position is great in the first one. No one really expected them to be in there. Here's the thing. I would be insanely surprised if Liverpool don't make top four. I know a lot of people because they're 7 points off, and Liverpool still have to play.
Really
they have to still play Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City. Yeah. They still have tough games to play, but the way I see it, it's like, bro, if like Spurs are so bad, Like, yeah, they're full, but that's like a false position. They're not good. Like, I've watched 6 Spurs games this year.
Yeah.
They made me fall asleep. They're so
They're
boring
really
to watch.
boring to watch. They're so
AC
bad.
Milan, who aren't even great, like Napoli's gonna pump them in the quarterfinals of the
yeah.
Champions League. They couldn't score 1 goal against them. Spurs are not like they're just boring to watch. They're like they said if Liverpool don't make top 4, I honestly think I don't know. Klopp should never get sacked though. Klopp should. I think the last thing you do is sack Klopp.
You don't sack
It's
Klopp.
it's clear, bro.
Get him in midfield.
It's not. Yeah, that's the thing. Liverpool actually they don't need much to be. They don't need much to get back to where they were, honestly, because if they need to invest in their midfield. That's 100%. Midfield is where they need to invest.
Their attacking three are
cool.
Are so solid. Like I see them, especially because like Nunez and Gakpo are so young.
Yeah.
That, like they have like those 3 positions, especially because you have Luis Diaz.
Look, Luis Diaz,
Jota.
Yeah.
You have. I feel like Firmino's gone.
Firmino's,
But
for me, Liverpool, they need to do, man, is get maybe 1 attacker to compensate Firmino leaving, and then get like 4 or 5 midfielders, which they probably can't do in one window. But
full revamp. I think the whole Liverpool story is a different episode because like there's a lot we can talk about. But I think
it's simple. I think it's simple.
I think it's simple. We need midfielders. We need some of our players to kind of get back in form. Trent needs to get back in form. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him. But like he needs to just figure his shit out. I think other than like midfield is been spoken about since the beginning of the season. We did jack all in the fucking January transfer window. So listen, Liverpool fans know this. We need more midfielders. We need probably at least 3.
I think that's where the problem lies. Yeah. Because, bro, there's an old saying inside midfield wins you games. Because the thing is that the reason why you say Trent is shit is because Trent wasn't. The thing is what people need to understand. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people actually like they do know this. It's just fun to make fun of Trent because he's a Liverpool player. But Trent has always been, even when he was, when you guys won the league, won the Champions stuff, Trent has always been shit defensively. He's never been a good defender. Exactly, yeah. No, he's never been a good defender. But what compensated for that is Liverpool were always a team up until this year anyways, where a lot of their times they would be up in the attacking area of the field. So since they were attacking constantly, stuff like that, Trent is good in that area. The issue, but why were they doing that? Because they had a midfield. Because the midfield is what supports the attack and defense, stuff like that. If the midfield sucks, you're going to be countered more. You're going to be more susceptible to, having your defense be screwed. Now, the issue with that is that because your defense is more open, Trent is being exploited.
So, by the way, I don't hate Trent. I love Trent. He's one of my favorite players on Liverpool. But it's really hard to avoid the fact that he is being exposed defensively. But I want to see him at Liverpool. I want to see him come back and be like next season, hey, listen, I am the same player that I was a few years ago. Stop disrespecting my ass. Stupid ass Southgate. Bring me to the England squad. You know what I'm saying? I need him to be that player. And I think that he has it in him. We just need to bolster that midfield.
I don't think Trent is actually. Like I told you, I don't think Trent's actually worse than what he was a few years ago. I think now his issue, which has always been their defending, is just more obvious now because he's getting more exposed. Because Liverpool get a good midfield, their problems are solved. Like you guys should have definitely got like Enzo Fernandez or Casemiro. One of them you guys should have had.
Yeah,
Chelsea and Man United. Like if you guys got an Enzo Fernandez. Pair that up with what's his name?
Bajcetic.
Yeah, him. You take that guy, and you get another because Thiago is amazing, but he's too injury prone. Like you guys need a good 3 midfielders, and then you guys are set. Honestly, Liverpool's issues aren't as glaring as obviously Spurs because Liverpool right now, your attack is still relatively good. Salah's like what 30, 31? He's 30 or 31. He's not that old. Wow. Van Dijk, Konate, your whole backline's still pretty young, blah, blah. Like, your team is good. All it needs is, like, a good midfield, and then you guys can be up and competing for Premier League and Champions League next year. I think just one transfer window, get 3-4 midfielders, boom.
We need a couple players to walk, free up some of that, some money. Keita definitely needs to get out of there. Basically, most of our midfielders need to leave. Miller needs to go.
I think
I'd say even Henderson needs to go.
I think the only one you keep based on, like, well, 2, I would keep 2 of them based on, okay. I'd keep
Bajcetic,
yeah. I'd keep him.
And Thiago.
And Thiago. Even though Thiago is injury prone, that's the only ones I'd keep. Keita, Henderson, Milner, Fabinho, Ox. I mean, Harvey Elliott, I know a lot of people say he's young, but like Harvey Elliott.
I think it's not. It wouldn't be appropriate to just give up on him right now.
Look, not give up on him, but the whole he's young excuse, like I think it's kind of like, because you see a lot of players his age. Look, Saka was an Arsenal first teamer at 18. Look at Pedri, Gavi. Look at Musiala. Look at Bellingham. Haaland was breaking through when he was 20. Like, if you're good enough, you're not young if you're good enough. Like, you can be good enough at that age. A lot of players pop off at that age. I mean, some take more time than others, which is why, yeah, you're fair. You should give them a bit more time. But at the same time, don't be like... It's like what Spurs did for the longest times. They treated Harry Winks like, oh, he's still young, whatever. Harry Winks got to like 25 and was so then they loaned them out to Sampdoria, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, you guys shouldn't make that mistake.
That's fair enough. And I think that you do kind of hold off on Harvey Elliott for this season. You just see how he kind of pans out. You don't... like.
I'd give him 2 years.
I'd give it 2 years.
I give it 2 years. If in 2 years' time you don't see really visible progression, he's not that good, I would bin him.
Yeah.
I'd probably
anyway, so I think that's generally a good Premier League wrap up for this week. The only thing that I will talk about is a little bit, and I don't think that this is really much of a debate, is the FA Cup quarterfinals, because we have Man City versus Sheffield United. That's okay. Man City, cakewalk, right?
The semis is the semis.
That's the semis, and then we have Man U, Brighton, which Man U should win. Now, obviously, their current form has been a little bit questionable.
I think it's Man U, Man City final.
Man City final, which is something that everyone kind of wants to see.
I think Man City wins it. I think Man City's winning this FA Cup. I don't know, man. Man U, to me, have been good. Have been better, I'd say, than previous years, but I still think they're being overrated a lot.
I think they are being overrated. I think that if a couple guys go down on that team, it's real. They don't have much depth. I don't feel the depth in that team.
It's not there's that, but even then today. Now I know it wasn't their strongest 11, but there's some games I watch Man United that even though they win, I don't think they're actually playing that well. Like, for example, when they beat Arsenal beginning of the year, Arsenal should have won that game, but we just got counterattacked way too easy. They ended up beating us 3-1. And then the game we beat them 3-2, where a lot of Man United fans are like, oh, last minute winner, Casemiro wasn't playing. Yeah, okay, cool, but what's his name? Partey wasn't playing in the first game we played against Seattle. That's one. Number two, it's look at the stats, everything. Man United are good, but they're not this wow. Because dudes a month ago were talking about title charge.
I think the Man United fans overrate the shit out of their team, and I want to put respect on them. And I think that they've done a really good job. Like the fact that they moved on from Ronaldo and still managed to put on such an amazing. Ten Hag has done a really great job. I want to give him the respect he deserves. But I don't think that Man United is the team that they their fans rate them to be. You can see that there's potential for that team to be potential, second in the league. I can see that in their future. But I think that Man United fans always fall for this trap of really just hyping up their own guys and hype. You know what I mean? And for me personally, there's a handful of guys that I think that are completely replaceable in that team. Don't really add much. And I mean that's a topic for another video. But I think that I put respect on Man United. I think they've done an amazing job. I think Ten Hag has really turned that team around. But I think that they need to stand the test of time before I really say Man United is back. Man United is this.
Yeah, Man United still need some work, but
yeah. Okay. It's time to move on to the final topic of today's podcast.
Champions League.
Which is Champions League. So obviously, at the time of filming this podcast, we would have completely finished the first round of Champions League. And now we know what the next round is looking like, right?
So, quick things, just to go bold prediction. What do you think? Who do you think is winning each tie? So, I'll go first. So, Man City, Bayern. I think Bayern wins that. I think
really?
Yes.
No,
I'll tell you why after. Napoli, AC Milan. I think Napoli win that. Benfica, Inter Milan. I think Benfica wins that.
I agree. They've been really.
And
strong.
then what was the other one? Madrid, Chelsea. I think Madrid wins that.
I think I agree. So I think I actually agree with all of your. Actually, no.
The Man City.
I don't agree with Man City. Bayern.
I agree with it. I'm gonna tell you exactly why right now. Okay. Man City are a team. First of all, especially Haaland, the goal scoring he's doing, they're a team that thrive off having a lot of space.
Sure.
That space they're not going to get when they play Bayern. And Bayern have very mobile defenders. Mm-hmm. Bayern has a mobile defense. They have Alphonso Davies. De Ligt is very mobile. They have... who's the other center back? Upamecano's mobile, and they have Pava. Their defense is mobile enough to contain Haaland. And after that, the midfield as well. You have Kimmich, who could probably contain them. But I think Bayern has Man City beat in a lot of areas of the pitch. On top of the fact that Man City is just European pedigree, just shit.
Yeah, but if you keep eventually Man City's gonna win a European championship. Eventually they will.
Eventually, I just don't think it's this year.
I think it is. I think that Man City beats Bayern. And one of the reasons why I think so is because I think momentum is a big deal, right? You don't just beat RB Leipzig 7-0 and then win against who they. Was it Burnley 6-0? I know.
Yeah, Burnley 6-0, Crystal Palace.
They're not amazing teams. Yeah. They're not amazing teams, right? But just having that level of dominance over these teams is a confidence booster for Haaland. It's a confidence booster for the team in general to say, hey, listen, you know what? Actually, this year might be our year. This year we're playing well. We might potentially be able to carry this over to Bayern. Now, Bayern has had a very suspect year, in my opinion, in terms of Bundesliga. I think given their squad, on paper, that title race in the Bundesliga should not be as close as it is.
But they always do that, though. Bayern, for the last couple of years, they always have this thing where middle of the season, they'll slip up a bit. Dortmund takes like a 1-2 point lead. Now, Bayern ends up just winning the league anyways. Bayern, bro, in many ways, are like Madrid. Bayern are like Madrid. Bayern, you realize that this Champions League, and they played Barca twice, Inter Milan twice, they played PSG twice. They played good teams. They've kept 7 clean sheets out of 8 games. 7 clean sheets. Bayern in the Champions League is different. But I'll tell you this, like I tell you, Bayern have the experience to win the Champions. A lot of their players were players that were there when they won the Champions League in 2013 and the one that they won in 2020. They have that. Bayern is just, to me, a different beast. And also on top of the fact that, well, there's like no disrespect to the German league. Bayern, they could be 10 points behind with 7-8 games to go, and Bayern could still probably win that league. The thing is with Man City right now is that they have basically, I don't think Man City can commit to the Premier League and Champions League and win both. They either commit and they could win the Champions League, or they commit and win the Premier League. They can't win both, I don't think. I think they're in a hole right now under Arsenal where like they have to commit a lot to win the league, which I don't know if they're going to, because if I'm Pep, I would prioritize Champions League.
I agree.
They won the league, 3 or 4 times under his rule, plus they won it twice like the last 2 years in a row. If I'm him, I would prioritize Champions League. So if he does that, then yeah, they could beat Bayern. But the way I know Pep from his time at Barca, plus by just like knowing him, he's a prideful man. He's gonna want to win both. I don't think he'll be able to.
No, he will. But I mean, I think if I remember correctly, generally speaking, Pep prioritizes Premier League.
He does.
Okay. He said it before in the past in interviews. He said that basically, if he were to pick between Champions League, what matters more to him, Champions League or Premier League, he prefers Premier League. Now, if the title race in the Premier League becomes something that is like you have a hard time imagining even catching up as a manager, right? Do you then shift focus? Say, listen, we have a much stronger chance to win Champions League because, in my opinion, right, like we have AC Milan, Napoli, Inter Milan, Benfica. That's one side of the bracket, right? So out of those 4 teams, one of those teams is making it to the final.
Yeah.
And it's most likely
Napoli.
Like really hard for me to believe is that it won't be Napoli.
Yeah, it's
right?
Napoli.
But then you have the other side of the bracket, which is Man City, Bayern, Real, Chelsea, right? I think Man City's biggest challenge is actually Real.
Yes,
because Real again, bro. Real is just like it's really tough. Like,
well, they're weird. They tend to just they're weird in the Champions League. They're so like they're not. They'll be shit for like the. It's like Madrid right now reminds me of when they won the Champions League actually in 2018. A lot of people like what they tend to forget is when they three-peated in 2018. They won the Champions League, whatever. They finished like 20 or 25 points behind Barca in the league. Like that year, they were not good in the league. But in the Champions League, Madrid is just like. It's weird, which like brings me on to the thing. If you go now, look at Chelsea, Madrid. I think Madrid. If Madrid don't win that, like I think Madrid walks Chelsea.
I think they do.
On top of the Chelsea's form's been dog shit. On top of the fact that, bro, you're putting Graham Potter in the Champions League.
Yeah. No.
I think Madrid walked. I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid like humiliated Chelsea.
I'm actually surprised that Chelsea made it this far. No offense to Chelsea, and I know I'm a Liverpool fan. I know I don't deserve to talk shit, but I am actually surprised that Chelsea has made it this far. Because this season's like Chelsea, like based on the players they have, the money they spend, they're absolutely dog shit. And I hope Chelsea fans get pissed off because like fuck y'all. So if Real Madrid does not beat Chelsea, then I think that will be probably the biggest upset of like this season.
Yeah, I would say that. I don't know. For me, look, okay.
In major competition.
Okay, I know what I just said. Like my contradicted. Okay, I wouldn't be insanely shocked if Chelsea did beat Madrid. But, like, I think, honestly, logically, because, okay, squad-wise, like, Chelsea have a good squad, but they're just not playing.
The issue. Like, and
I don't know. I think Madrid should walk this.
I think that, like, Graham Potter has just not been able to, I mean, I know he's new, and I know it's not fair to just automatically, like dismiss him, But I think that he has not been able to handle the squad, the talent that he has, in the most effective way. Because this is his kind of squad when you look at it. On
Yeah,
paper,
I think this job is too big for him.
it's
I
huge.
think this job is too big. On top of the fact that he had to join in middle of the season with a squad that already people like even under Tuchel, a lot of people wanted this squad to be like ripped up. Now added all these players all in the middle of the season, so I don't entirely blame this thing on him. Granted, because it is like any manager would have a tough go at it, but like I don't think Graham Potter's the guy.
Yeah.
Like
So,
personally, and then. If we were to go AC Milan, so that means for now, what the semifinals I would predict would be, I think the semifinals for now would be Bayern Madrid. That would be one thing,
That's
and
a
if we
good
move on,
semifinal.
that's
an amazing semifinal.
that's-
The other side of the bracket is a little bit
AC
lackluster.
I think it's easier to predict. I think Napoli washes Milan,
I think they wash.
and
them,
I think
yeah.
Benfica washes Inter Milan.
I don't think they wash them, but I think that
Benfica in their league this year have been great. On top of the fact that even in their group stage, no, Benfica's like Benfica
been
and
great.
Benfica so far have played 8 games, so 6 group stage, 2 knockout stage, and they've scored 35 goals.
No, they've been like pretty solid, and
They
and
have
even
that
remember
Ramos dude in the
qualification-
attack. They have that Ramos
Yeah,
dude in the attack.
Ganchalo.
Ganchal, yeah, the guy
Gonçalo
who
Ramos,
likes
the guy from Portugal.
the guy who likes to show his dick online.
Oh, word, he did that.
You never saw that leak? Yeah, during the World Cup, man, his video of him leaked of him, doing questionable things. Man.
You heard it here, folks. Look in the description below to see.
Yeah, like, you feel me? Point is, that dude I think is going to cook Inter Milan. Inter Milan have not been convincing out. And I know it's dumb of me to say because, well, they were in the group of Barca and we got knocked out. Trust me, if we didn't get injured, we would not have been knocked out. I'm telling you, Inter Milan would not have done shit to us. We had fucking Eric Garcia and PK as our center backs.
I think that a lot of people would agree that Barca should have made it through in that group. Given the injuries, obviously, it was a different story.
Put it like this: Inter
But I
Milan just
think
got, I
that-
think, are lucky to get. I think Inter
think
Milan
that-
so far have been because even against Porto in the second leg, because the whole tie ended 1-0 for
1-0,
for
yeah.
Inter Milan. That second leg, bro, Onana saved the shit out of Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Porto were on; they hit the post I think twice in the last minute. Like they were on their like no. I think this ends. I think so. What would we see is a Napoli Benfica semifinal and Bayern Madrid.
Bayern Madrid, and then I think that once those matches conclude, I think we would probably go for a second round of predictions and
Yeah, and then
that week's
another
episode.
but it's too hard to predict now because it all depends on form, where the league is at that point in the season, blah blah. Because if it gets to the point where Barca are just clearly going to win the league, which I mean after today's result they probably are, then Madrid would just prioritize the Champions League. So I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid were to beat Bayern, go to the final. Honestly, man, as much as I hate to admit, I wouldn't be surprised if Madrid won it again this year. Even though
I
they're not,
would.
Madrid are not good, bro.
I
It's like
would,
last year. Madrid were not good last year either.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think that like with all due respect to Madrid, in the Champions League bracket as of today, I would be surprised if they won. Okay, they're a
Yeah,
great team,
yeah.
but they're man. I think the winner is in that first bracket, that first side of the bracket, Man City versus Bayern. I think the winner is there.
No.
And I think whoever comes out of that will have a very strong case to win. And you guys can come back to this episode and watch it and, mark my words. This year's winner of the Champions League will be between Man City and Bayern. I really have a hard...
I disagree.
Actually,
I think, yeah, no, I was going to
keep
say,
forgetting, yeah.
I was going to say, I think, honestly, for me, I don't think Man City are winning it. I don't think they have a chance of winning it, personally. That's just me. I think it's between Real, Bayern, and Napoli. Now, honestly, if Napoli were to play Madrid, I think if Bayern play Napoli, I could see Bayern winning it. But if Napoli play Madrid, and I know, like, this is probably going to bite me in the ass because it is Madrid, Napoli's front line is pacey as shit. Napoli's front line is a handful, and the thing is,
They're quick.
with a lot of Madrid's defenders, Rudiger's fast. Ferland Mendy, when his fit, is good, but the thing is, they keep relying on Carvajal, who's slow as shit. He's going to get exploited by... I'm not going to even attempt to say his name. I keep forgetting. Anyways.
Farshfellia.
Yeah, he's going to exploit the shit out of Carvajal. Oshiman's going to be a handful for Militao and Rudiger. I think honestly, if... I could see a world where if Real and Napoli play a final against each other, Napoli could win. But then again, Madrid, most of that team has won the Champions League 5 times.
If you ask me who I want to win, this is just me thinking.
I want it to be Napoli.
Yeah, like if you
Yeah,
ask me who
Napoli.
I want to win,
Yeah, Napoli.
I would love to see Napoli win. Amazing season in what's it called? In the Italian league, they're play like
Yeah.
some of these players that they have, Oshiman and Farshfellia, they're just like I love to watch them play. I think they're
Yeah.
so amazing to watch, and I think that they actually like can strive for even I don't want to say bigger teams because it sounds so like diminishing to Napoli. I think they're doing great. But
Well, no, I mean,
I think that these guys are like next level talents that you could see on a Real, you could see on a Man United, you could see on a Barca. Like that's the kind of level of talent that like Napoli has, and this is the year for them, I think, to capitalize on that talent.
For me, I think whoever they play in the final is going to be hard because they play Bayern. Bayern is a better equipped team than Madrid to stop Napoli. But they play Madrid, and like half that team contains basically the same players who have won the Champions League for 5 times in the last 10 years.
Very true.
That's the thing. So, like, experience will have a hand in there. Like I told you, it's going to be hard. It's hard to predict who wins it this year, but, like, honestly, I would love Napoli to win it.
Yeah, okay, so that is our Champions League wrap-up. I think that if you guys obviously have your own opinions, you want to share them in the comments, you can definitely do that.
For sure.
But we want to move on to our last topic of today, which is PSG, what went wrong, and what we think
Yo,
is
it's simple. This shouldn't even be a Yo, PSG, blow it up.
Blow it up, yeah. I agree.
Blow it up. Like, that team is shit, bro. You guys got rid of Thiago Silva to get an older and worse Ramos. Don't get me wrong, Ramos all time, way better. I love
Ramos, great player all time. But
Ramos, great player, whatever. But getting rid of Thiago Silva made no sense. Your defense is shit outside of... Take out Marquinhos, Kimpembe. Your defense sucks. Your midfield sucks. Yep. Your attack isn't clicking. Neymar's injured half the time. Mbappe, Loki doesn't want to be it. Messi doesn't want to be it. That whole team just needs to blow up, man. There's no chemistry. There is no, bro. PSG, like, I don't think they are ever going to win it. Like, under this ownership, I think this ownership is going to pull out soon. Yeah. Under this ownership, they don't know what they're doing, man. They keep recruiting players here and there.
Just
like
for
they
talent.
need, they need to know, they need to know how to put a team together. Because one thing, like you look at last year, for example, this is like. For me, this was like prime example. PSG's team on paper has never been stronger than what it was last year and this year in their history. This is probably their strongest ever team. But last year, why did you think Madrid beat it? PSG have a way better team. Like they have a better team. Messi, Mbappe, and all these guys. But what's the issue, man? They don't have the pedigree, bro. They don't have the European pedigree. They don't have like it's like PSG are basically like Spurs with money. Yeah. Like, yeah, PSG can win League One, stuff like that. But when it really comes down to pressure, when it really comes down to it, man, they fumble each time.
I think one of the major, like I like to compare Messi playing with Argentina versus Messi playing with PSG. Now, Messi is a great player. He's the greatest of all time. I think we can all agree. Even coming from a Ronaldo fan, I think now it's easy to see Messi as the greatest player of all time, right? But you can see the difference between how Messi plays with Argentina versus how Messi plays with PSG.
The Argentina team he has isn't even that amazing. Like, the players they have aren't even, like, great, but they know how to work together.
It's a team.
It's a team.
It's a team. Like,
exactly.
They lose to Saudi Arabia in the first game, and then the only thing that you heard from after that is, like, we want to win this for Messi. Yeah. That's all they said. And obviously, like, it's not like you could argue like, your only motivation is to win for Messi.
The dick riding is crazy. I can't lie.
It just meant like for me as somebody who's just watching it, it just meant this is a team. Right?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like PSG don't have that.
I don't think anybody there
really cares. Like it doesn't look like they care.
No, I feel like everyone like I think that's what happens when you go to like a farmers league to like League One, is like. You really...
It's so easy to just get complacent. Like
PSG has been shit ever since the World Cup. Let's be real. They had a strong start to the season. They've been shit ever since the World Cup. Yeah. Okay? Now, PSG is still like what? Like 13 points on top of the league?
Yeah, bro. They don't have to...
Joke.
Like, they lost today, but they can still, like, bro, they don't, like...
They can matter. That league's a joke. Like, no offense to the French league. It's a joke. So, like, if I'm a player, and I'm not because I'm garbage, but if I was a player, right... And I was playing in a league like the French league with that little competition.
Well, especially with the money they pay for they pay a lot of money for these players. I wouldn't
give a fuck either. I would have no passion. I feel like passion is built in
the passion's built in history, bro. Because if you look at Arsenal, for example, why do you think they're doing so good now? Because everyone's like, oh, it's the history of the team.
They love to play.
Barca's the same thing. It's the badge. You know, who the fuck is repping PSG? Before 2012, who was repping PSG? Pochettino and Ronaldinho when he was like 12.
Well, no motherfuckers going around talking about, oh, look at my Eiffel Tower. Everyone's like, I'm a gunner. I'm a Red Devil. No one's a Spur. But like, I'm a Barca player. I'm a Real player. People say that.
PSG
right?
just there's no passion. Like Mbappe's the only one you could maybe say has passion for a team because he was born in Paris.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe Kimpembe as well because he's French. I don't know if he's born in Paris or not, but like you could say, okay, maybe them. But like players like Ramos, Verratti, I know Verratti's been there for a long time. Like Neymar, all of them, bro. Do they really have like the passion? Like, were they growing up thinking, "Oh, I want to play for PSG"?
I don't know, but it sounds like PSG.
No one grows up wanting to.
Home.
Yeah, no one grows up wanting to play for PSG. People grow up they want to play for Man United's, Liverpool's, Arsenal's, Barca's, Madrid, Bayern's, AC Milan, Inter Milan. They want to play for those teams. No one grows up like back then thinking I want to play for PSG. Maybe now someone might think that because PSG like are on the map, but like back a lot of these players when they're growing up, no one wants to play for PSG.
But they're on the map for having great players that
They on money, bro.
That don't work. They're on the map for having money, and I as a fan, I wouldn't want to be like known for the team that has money and doesn't do shit with it.
You need culture, man. You know? Culture is important.
Man City has money, right? But Man City like.
No, but even then, Man City has somewhat similar issues to PSG, but the difference is Man City. The reason why Man City aren't, let's say, it doesn't happen to them as frequently as PSG, where they don't like choke whatever as much, is because Man City have to do it in a harder league. So they're more battle tested. They've been in more pressurized moments. Like Man City, but there's a reason why they never won the Champions League. Last year, Rodrigo comes off Madrid's bench, scores 2 goals against them in a minute. Where does that come from? It's a mentality thing. None of them have won the Champions League. They don't have a history of doing that. So yeah, Man City are better in that aspect than PSG, but still they have it in them. Why? Because there's no culture. Like I said, like no one grows up wanting, like no one grew up back then wanting to play for Man City. Most of Man City's players like they weren't fans of Man City as kids. The only ones you can say was a fan of Man City as a kid was probably Holland because his dad played there and Foden. Like that's still like none of their players like the passion isn't there. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like for example, Benzema, these guys from Madrid. Like first of all, they grew up obviously idolizing Madrid, blah blah, but they would die for that badge. They would die for. Who the fuck's dying for Man City's badge? It doesn't even look nice.
It's kind of cute.
Yo, it's a boat. You feel me?
It's kind of cute.
Anyway.
But like I feel what you're saying. I think at the end of the day, I think that PSG with a more like I guess passionate ownership.
They need to
with more knowledgeable ownership. They could be doing a lot more.
They need to rebuild. I think PSG needs to build from scratch from there. I think PSG need to basically do what most teams do. Just build from your academy, buy a few sensible signings here and there. Don't go for the star sign. Notice, PSG don't have any academy players who play on their team.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. They need to establish that because at the end of the day, look at most major teams. A lot of the best teams you see in Europe right now have players come out of their academy. Arsenal, Saka, Martinelli came out of the academy. Reece Nelson, Nketiah, Smith Rowe. A lot of these players, came out of the academy. If you look at, for example, Barca, Pedri, Gavi. Well, not Pedri, sorry, but Gavi. He came out of the academy. Araujo came out of the academy. Balde, Ansu Fati. A lot of these players come out of their academy. Madrid, same thing. You look at Man United, same thing. A lot of these teams have some academy players in it because you need that. You need that to kind of succeed as a team. You can't just go around buying all these players but not knowing how to kind of place them together.
I agree. No.
You feel me?
That's the thing, and also that's part of the reason why you develop a rapport, you develop a love for your team because you grew up with that team. Like,
exactly.
It's kind of like this nostalgia thing. Like you want to play your heart out for this team.
Exactly.
I don't feel like there's most of those players that play for PSG. I don't feel like they say to themselves, "I really want to play my heart out for this team."
Yeah, no. Who does, man? What you play your heart out to do? What win a League One? You do that anyways.
Motherfucker's still going home making whatever. $100 million per season or whatever the fuck they're making.
No, it's done.
Yeah, anyway.
The project's done.
The project's done, and I think that should be a learning experience. Now, the last thing I did want to talk about before we wrap up is Neymar in particular, because I told you guys I'm a Neymar fan, and I just want to know your opinion on where you see Neymar playing for, or like who you see Neymar playing for in the future.
Either Premier League or back in La Liga. I don't see him going to Italy. That league is way too physical for him. Even maybe Premier League. I see him either back at La Liga or he might just stay and retire in PSG. I don't see him anywhere else.
The only team I can see him playing for in Prem is City.
I don't know. There's been rumors apparently he might go Chelsea. I don't know. I think that'd be stupid.
There's a bunch of Chelsea fans talking shit.
I think that'd be stupid.
La Liga, the only team I see him playing for is Barca.
Then again, man, here's the thing, and I know it might sound really stupid. Unless if we can't get like another left winger, I would take Neymar back. The issue is that, man, if Neymar, who the fuck wouldn't take him? My issue is that he's always injured, man. Now, when he was at Barca, he didn't have injury issues like he had at PSG. So I don't know, like, it's kind of weird, man. His injury stuff started when he joined PSG, which is weird. A lot
of players get injured at PSG, and maybe
like it's weird, but like
maybe this speaks for the medical system in the team. They don't know how to manage their players. They send them out too early.
For me, based on ability, I'd love Neymar back, but like based on like his injury record, that's where like I'm like, But then again, I'd be dumb to say no. So yeah.
I want to see players like Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe play for leagues that I actually give a shit about.
Dog, I saw Darren Bent the other day. You don't know what the fuck Darren Bent is, right? Yeah, no one fucking knows. Trash ass player. Darren Bent coming out the other day talking about on Arsenal he'd be a bench player. Neymar wouldn't be a starting 11 player.
Oh, he said Neymar would be a bench player in Arsenal.
Yeah.
Is he fucking stupid?
He is. Darren Bent, man. Anyways.
Well, this guy's bent in the head. All right, guys. That is the conclusion of this episode.
The first one, yo. We appreciate the ones who are here and the ones who will accompany us throughout, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Obviously, if you're listening on Spotify, consider following us. For weekly content, we're going to be trying to releasing episodes every week and trying to do a similar thing where we recap La Liga, recap Prem.
Anything soccer, football. Sorry, not soccer. Football, man. Football. Anything football, all that shit. Yeah, you know where to find us.
You guys know where to find us.
We'll link everything on YouTube and everything, so you know where to follow us.
Yes, and yeah, all our links will be in the description on YouTube. If you guys want to subscribe. If you don't want to, we'll just go fuck ourselves. But on that note, thank you guys, everyone, and we will see you next week.
See you, people.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.